Good day, everyone. We are delighted to present our research titled A Comparative Analysis of Language Policies in Brunei in the Philippines, the Foundations, Frameworks, and Outcomes.
So in this presentation, we'll give a brief introduction to the language policies of both countries, share the key findings from our comparative analysis, and explain why this policy matters today, especially in our globalized and multilingual world.
So, language policies guide how languages are used and taught in schools. In Brunei, the government follows the bilingual education policy, which promotes both Malay and English. Malay is used in lower primary, while English becomes the medium of instruction for most subjects starting from year 4.
In contrast, the Philippines uses the mother tongue-based multilingual education or the MTB-MLE approach. From kindergarten to grade 3, students learn in their first language, then instruction gradually transition to Filipino and English. Both policies aim to promote national identity and global readiness.
The historical roots of these policies are different. Brunei was once a British protectorate, so English became essential for administration and education.
The Philippines, on the other hand, has a complex colonial past, with Spanish, American, and Japanese influences. This resulted in a multilingual society and a strong presence of both Filipino and English in education. These colonial legacies shaped their current policies.
And to analyze these policies, we use three main theories. Sociolinguistic theory, which explores how language shapes social identity, language planning and policy theory, which examines how governments manage language, and critical pedagogy, which considers how language policies can promote or hinder equality in education.
These theories help us evaluate the goals and real-life effects of each policy from the classroom to the larger society.
Let's now look at how these policies are applied. In Brunei, Malay is used at first, but English gradually takes over in later grades, especially in subjects like science and math. This shift prepares students for global opportunities.
In the Philippines, early education starts in the mother tongue. Filipino and English are introduced later, allowing students to learn in a familiar language first, which improves comprehension and confidence.
Both policies have strengths and struggles. Brunei's approach promotes English fluency and prepares students for international success, but it may weaken the use of Malay in academic context.
The Philippines policy improves early literacy, especially in rural areas, but it faces problems like lack of trained teachers, inadequate learning materials, and confusion during the transition to English and Filipino in grade 4.
Brunei students perform well in international assessment, especially in English, but they sometimes show limited proficiency in their national language.
In the Philippines, study shows that students using their mother tongue in early education understand lesson better, but many struggles when they switch to English and Filipino happens too quickly or without enough support.
And now let's summarize it. Brunei bilingual Malay plus English, which focus on global competence, while in the Philippines, multilingual mother tongue plus Filipino plus English, which focus on inclusive and culturally relevant education.
This comparison shows that while both countries value English, they apply it differently based on their goals and context.
So why do these policies matter today? We live in a world where knowing more than one language is a great advantage for jobs, travels, and communication.
However, as we embrace globalization, we must also protect our local languages. They carry our history, culture, and identity. Both Brunei and the Philippines are trying to strike this balance.
What can we learn from this comparison? First, there's no perfect policy. Each country must consider its own linguistic diversity, historical background, and educational needs.
Second, policy must go beyond paper. Effective implementation requires training for teachers, development of localized materials, and regular evaluation to make sure they truly help students.
In conclusion, language policies shape not just in classrooms, but in the entire futures. Brunei focuses on bilingual strength, while the Philippines pushes for multilingual inclusion.
Their experiences offer powerful lessons on how language can be used as a tool for empowerment, not exclusion.
Thank you for joining us in this journey through language, culture, and education.
We're now open for your questions and thoughts.
Maraming salamat and terima kasih.